Mara had taken the same bus to work for almost 10 years. Every morning, she quietly sat by the window, clutching her worn brown bag and staring at the passing streets. She was invisible to most passengers, and she had learned not to expect kindness from strangers. People were always in a rush, always louder, always pushing past her as if she were made of air. One rainy Tuesday, the bus was unusually crowded. The air felt heavy with impatience. When Mara stepped inside, a tall man bumped her shoulder without even looking back. Another person sighed loudly as she moved down the aisle, trying to keep her balance. She finally found a small space near the back and held onto the metal pole with her thin, trembling hands. At the next stop, a young boy entered, holding a large cake box wrapped in red ribbon. He looked worried, as if this box were the most important thing he owned. The bus jerked forward suddenly, and the boy stumbled. The box slipped from his arms and fell straight into a puddle of muddy water that had gathered near the door. People reacted instantly, some laughing, some complaining that he was blocking the aisle. The boy froze, staring at the ruined cake as water soaked into the cardboard. His eyes filled with panic. "It was for my mom's birthday," he whispered, barely loud enough to hear. No one moved to help him, except Mara. She stepped forward slowly, her shoes splashing in the puddle, and crouched beside him. Her knees hurt, and her hands shook, but she gently lifted the wet box. "Come with me," she said softly. The boy followed her to an empty seat, confused and embarrassed. Mara opened her brown bag. Inside was a small towel, carefully folded, and a thermos of warm tea. She handed him the towel to dry his hands, and together they opened the damaged box. The cake was slightly tilted, but still intact. Not perfect, but still a cake made with love. The boy looked at her with wide, grateful eyes. "Why are you helping me?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "Because someone once helped me when I thought everything was ruined." Her voice trembled with memory, and I promised myself I would pass it on. The mood on the bus shifted. The laughter stopped. A woman near the front wiped her eyes. Even the tall man who had bumped Mara earlier stepped closer and offered the boy a plastic bag to protect the cake. When the boy got off the bus, he waved at Mara with a bright, hopeful smile, the kind that warms the heart long after it's gone. The other passengers looked at Mara differently now, with a quiet respect. As the bus continued down the rainy street, Mara finally felt something she hadn't felt in years, seen, valued, and gently held by the world she thought had forgotten her. And for the first time in a very long time, she smiled at her own reflection in the window.